Hi, it's Adam Hall with Peace of Mind Houses, and I just wanted to talk to the guys who have assisted living homes for a few minutes. That I put together a transaction the other day that ended up, I think it'd be a pretty good fit for a lot of the people who are moving into a facility like that have a home that they need to sell. It was kind of cool. I had a friend, my Randy, with Care Patrol, that he called me and said that they had just got somebody into an assisted living center and they needed to sell the house. And he told the family to get in touch with me and maybe we'd be able to work something out. Later that day, I got a call from a real estate agent who I hadn't worked with for probably 5 years. He's like, "Hey Adam, my cousin just moved into this house, into an assisted living center. They have this house, they need to have some work done on it. Are you still doing work on houses?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I can." And he's like, "Great, let's go meet at this house and I'll show it to you and see what you can do with it." And turned out it was the same house. He gave me the same address that Randy had given me. So I went over there, I met Tim, and he told me on our phone call that there had been one room that there'd been a dog that had been peeing on the carpet in there. And we walked into the house and it just made your eyes burn. It was so bad. And it's like, "Tim, we've got more than just one room that needs the carpet dealt with." I mean, the whole upper level of the home was pretty nasty. And so kind of looking at it, and then there were a few other things that needed done to the home. There was a deck that was damaged, but the home overall was in pretty good shape. It was only about 15 years old. And so all the repairs together were going to be in the ballpark of $5,000. So we're kind of looking at this, and so we thought the house would go for about $250,000 if just basic repairs were done to it. And so we had 250 minus the real estate commissions, which are about 6%, and then minus buyer's closing costs, which are running about 3% that the sellers are end up paying. And then they have about 1% in closing costs that they're going to pay as well as the seller. So all of that is 10%, which out of this 250,000 is $25,000. So that takes them down to netting to 25. And then we have the $5,000 worth of repairs. Then it would probably be about a month to get all this stuff done and get the house on the market, because she still had a lot of things that the family were going to come and move out of the home. So it'd be a few weeks before we could get started on the work. And then looking at the other houses in that area, most of them had taken between 2 and 4 months to close from the time that they had been listed listed for sale. So we're looking at a month of holding costs of just getting ready, then 2 to 4 months worth of sales time. So say 5 months of holding costs at about $200 a month, and that's her homeowner's insurance and her power and gas bill, to water to keep the utilities on. So that's another $1,200 that she's gonna, all right, put a zero and some commas in there. So we've got that she's gonna end up paying. So that takes it down to 220, 219, 218, $800 that she's going to net off of that house in about 5 months, give or take a little bit. So $218,800. I was looking at it as a project that I could buy and felt like I could pay about $200,000 for it as it was. Right at first blush, you say, "Oh, 200,000 versus 250. It's a low deal. It's not good for the buyer." But what I would want to do with that is I would turn around and ask. She's going to carry the contract on that 200,000, and so I'll be paying about 10 or 12% interest on that in order to for her to make some money on it. So she could sell it. She could get her 218,000. Put it in the bank and make 1%, or she can carry the contract on this and she's going to be making about 12% on it, which over 5 to 6 months. Most of my projects end up taking 6 full months. So that would be roughly $2,000 a month in interest that she'd be making. So that would be another $12,000 in interest. So this is just for the house. And then this is interest. And then, so she's netting $212,000 because she doesn't have to pay for the realtor fee. She doesn't have to pay for the repairs. She doesn't have any holding costs. We can do this transaction really quickly. So it was 2,212 or 218. So she ends up netting $6,000 less by doing this. But in addition to buying the house, I had agreed to make a $3,000 a month payment to her on the house. So now she's got the money to cover her assisted living center right from the get-go. She knows that that money's coming in. I'm giving her $3,000 at closing. Then each month until I sell the property, I'll be giving her $3,000. So it'll be paying my mortgage to her down some. She'll be getting her $3,000 a month, so she doesn't have the stress of covering that cost for the assisted living center, and she doesn't have to worry about the property not selling. It's the middle of October right now. I've got a house that was finished in May. We put it under contract shortly thereafter. Went about 4 weeks. The buyer's financing fell apart. Same thing happened again and again. We're on our 4th buyer now, which is a risk that she wouldn't. I'm taking that risk instead of her. So she's netting a little bit less. She's netting $6,000 less on this deal, but we're taking care of a ton of stress and worry for her on this project. You guys with assisted living centers, I know a lot of times that's a concern for you, that you're dealing with people who they need to come into your home, but they don't have the funds right away. They need to wait for a house to sell. By using a system like this, we're able to get that money to them, get them into your home, take care of your costs, your expenses. They get their home taken care of. And even though it sounds like it's a low ball offer when the house could sell for $250, she's only getting $200. Overall, she's netting roughly the same and making a pretty good deal for everyone. Please give me a call if you do have any questions, or if you know of anybody that this might work for them. I'd love to talk to them and their family and see if there's something that we can work out. It's Adam Hall, 801-472-7491. It's 801-472-7491. Thanks.